So I already know some people who already could be a judge. Like I know my friend who would do it, and I think it's her aura that I think she'll be able to not only bring people out, but it would kind of set like a vibe too for the place. So that's also another thing too. Um, so as far as the date goes, the second is cool. The second work for you, huh?
We say?
So as far as the date goes, the second works for you.
The second works for me, but I gotta make sure the second works for everybody else.
All right. So how soon would you be able to know that?
Hardly speaking, like from between E, fuck, Scratch the photographer, and I have to. We all gotta get like a few artists, because 9 times out of 10, when you hit up some people to perform, they're gonna say no, or they're gonna say yes and not show up, unless money's involved. So, we're gonna get that established. So I would say, like, what exactly do you want me to do? Like, get 20 artists and, establish everything? Because I'm trying, it's right now, it's me, you, I gotta talk to Scratch. I gotta talk to a few more other people. I just haven't got to because people work a crazy work schedule. Like, he gets off by 12 a.m.
I mean, what I know that I could do is I'm all for, how do I say? I won't say negotiation, but I'm good for negotiation, conversation, the vibe check, the interviews, and how do you say, like, it's like overall setup. Like what is it gonna look like? How we're like keeping track of the people coming in, like and that's something like we still got security. Security is it's one thing, but it don't got to be even real security. They can just wear a shirt that says security.
I got real security.
All right, cool. So you got security.
Yeah, I got real security, bro. I mean, we work at Truth Lounge, that's a real security guard. But we're gonna have to pay him. So unless you want to just get a fake security guard, but what happens if something pop off?
I mean, what, he got a gun?
Yes, he's licensed. He's licensed security guard professionally.
I mean, all right. So that's, but yeah, it's a.
He's a celebrity security guard. That like anytime Charleston White come to the city,
Yeah.
or anybody like that, like a politician, they come to him, and we play on the same football team.
Heard. So you got me. So you got the. So I got a possible date. So I just right now I got August 2nd, 2024. What's that? What was the name of that possible venue?
I believe it's called Slap Your Mama, but I think it's a hookah venue, but I'm not sure. I think it's like a private venue.
Heard. All right, well, I just got that for now. Put a question mark. So how many? About basically 20. The aim is 20 artists,
Say that one more time.
and the aim is 20 artists.
It could be more.
Because then we can do vendors too. You know how when vendors pop out? You ever heard of that? Like people who make food or like would that be an event for that?
Vendors I know that pop out is like weed vendors.
Oh, gotcha. All right, well we got vendors. I'm thinking if they let us do the alcohol, we can do the alcohol, do the bartending. 20 artists, vendors, bartend, interviews. So would you want the interviews to be done before the date or during?
I say during because it'd be like a job application, like a job interview. I wouldn't want to do that. I have to do an interview before a show.
Yeah.
We show the interview the same
So when I imagine, so let's say if you're the artist, when I think of interviewing you beforehand, it's basically like if I were to come to you and I basically do it like we get a sample of your music, why you make music, what you how do I say it? Like I guess it's off the top of my head I'm trying to think like pertaining to the show, like kind of like bringing hype around the show. Like who you bring in, or how are you gonna step out, or what songs you wanna play. I don't know if that's like questions that you would want to even answer before, but like it's,
that's usually going to be in the inquiry when you want an artist to participate in the show, but they accept. I'm pretty sure you do like Gmail, you know what I'm saying, anything like that.
yeah.
Like, you send a song.
Now I got you. Like I said, this isn't my forte, so I'm more open to, like, I understand needing a third opinion, but I'm more open to, like, the parts that I don't know about, then I'm open to leaving that to you, because that's what we have right now. You know, I feel like I don't want to keep waiting. The more, if we're going to keep waiting, then it's just going to keep pushing back the whole thing happening. So I'd rather do anything that we can do now and lean on to what we can do now than, you know, leave too much up to...
So, in a nutshell, just hit people up like, hey, you want to perform?
Basically. And then if they when they say where, we got to have the where already down packed so that people know where it's at, because everybody don't drive and all that. They got to know where it's at, they can get there, and of course the cash prize. So in my opinion, what would be better to have right away is location, cash prizes, and a date. And then everything else will come with it as we flow, because every conversation not gonna be the same. Even me, you know, once it's official, then I can even start, you know, heading out to places, or I'll start being able to speak to people that I even know, you know, make music, and I can just throw it out there, you know, or even on the streets when I talk to people, I can say, hey, this is happening. You know, that's where flyers and stuff come in too, where you invite people, you know. So that, like, for me, when those things become solid, I'm able to talk about it. I can't talk about it if it's not solid. So my voice is, my mouth is with a zipper on it until we get location, date, and prize. You get what I'm saying? And that whole thing about me being able to, if my strong point is the communication, is the setting of the pace, then I won't be able to do any of that until we have a pace. So I don't mind doing interviews during the show, that's cool too. But I know as far as like, what I know I'm gonna be thinking about during the show is I'm gonna be thinking about, you know, monitoring sales, people, you know, the door, who everybody's bringing, people who showed up, the order of the who goes, because I know ideally most people want to go closer to the end. So if you get there and you paid your money, but you went first and you had to go in front of when nobody was there, then that's kind of like, you know what I mean? That'll be like a hit right there. Like it's only 5 people. It's almost like, when do you start the first person to go, and then what's a sweet spot for, you know, where people will want to perform at, you know, would rather perform later than earlier or earlier than later, you know, that whole thing. Oh, I feel that. Yeah, slots. I get that, and now that would be an incentive to come sooner.
Yep, because they gave me the option when I used to go to my shows.
Yeah.
Like, before the broadcast, like when I was getting paid for them, it's just like they used to give me the option.
Yeah.
I made a horrible mistake and chose 17th place. Oh goddamn! Where I was at all night.
Yeah.
You know people gonna leave too, so.
I seen that. I witnessed this over at smoking, not smoking, it's the lounge, wherever that lounge is. It's like some food joint. What's it called? It don't matter what it's called, but it's a smaller venue. And I noticed where people perform, because I was there as a supporter. I noticed that there was the first people that go where it was like dry, and I'm just gonna call it like that. It was dry in the beginning for like the first 4 or 5 people. But see, what happened was I knew the person who made the show, and she basically put people who she thought was more talented more towards the middle and end, and people who she felt like, you know, were newer, she put them in the front. So she just made a choice on her own on how she wanted that to go.
Okay. What time you thinking?
Shoot, 8. What, 8, 9? Cause it come down to like, if we go to like, I think going to 2 seem ideal, because I think 2 o'clock, if we push it past 2 o'clock, I think we pushing into what I would consider a danger zone of that many people in the same place, you know, for that long at night, in my opinion. But that's my perspective though. So I think 2 o'clock is a reasonable time for everything to be kind of getting kind of fizzling out, or getting to the prizes by like 1-ish. So basically performances should be from like blink to 1. So like if it start at 9, but then we start the performances at 10, then it'll be 10, 11, 12, 1. So yeah, maybe. Yeah, so maybe start at, I agree. So maybe start at 10, and is it later the better or earlier the better? That's the real question. Because if it's 8 to 12, if it could be like 8 to 11 or 8 to 12 or something like that, then it could be cool too. Can this person call whoever in the chat so we can just? I'm trying to avoid what happened last. We can just get it all. So we can do right now. I see, like I'm looking at how the message is going. Like it was all going until it came to the call. So if whenever's a good time for everybody to get involved, because me and you, we always gonna keep going back and forth. We always gonna be ready to make a move. But if we're ever waiting on somebody outside of the conversations, then we'll always be limited to what they didn't say yet, versus everything we can work with what we have. So I don't mind.
It's gonna get, no, it's not gonna just be me, because I got other people I have to talk to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got half, they say they're with it, but we gotta put it in motion. Like,
and that's it.
Everybody wants to get paid. And I ain't a rich person to pay everybody.
So that's the thing, right? Is that's not, at least in my opinion right now, how do I put it? If everybody want to get paid and everybody can't get paid, then that means it's not happening. So what needs to happen then is where the compromise comes in. If somebody's not willing to put in a service or a way to help without getting paid, or it's almost like, all right, what do people want to get paid for? You know what I'm saying? Like security. Security's getting paid to protect the place. The venue's getting paid to provide a place. So 100 to do what? Who wants to get paid, and what are they going to do for what they want to get paid for?
100 for security.
So that's 100. So that's 100 for security, however much for the venue. But as far as, what about the people that's in this chat right now? Are the people in the chat, is that security?
No. He's a host.
So he wants to get paid to host.
No, not necessarily. He wants to put in the work. He knows that it's gonna take time because he just hosted a show and he didn't really get paid. So he knows how this game goes. So he really wants to grind it out. I plan to do it. I plan to host a couple shows, so hopefully in the next couple shows that the money will start paying off because I know shit happens. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens sometimes. Like, people say they was gonna come up and they don't come up. I've seen it happen a couple times.
And I understand that part. So that's where for me, I would, in my world, I would go lower risk before higher risk because there's more people involved. But if there's already somebody who's willing to pay, then that's where we would just have to split up that risk in and of itself. But it comes down to if it's necessary. Like for example, the prize that we're giving, if we're already going to be in the hole $1,000 just in prizes, then right there we're already looking to make, whenever money that comes through the door is already going right into the prizes. Then you got the venue, then you got the people, you know. So it's deeper as far as who's going to be the ones investing, and then you know it's just that whole loop. So once again, to me, all right, let's say right now it's already Thursday. But we talked about this Monday or Tuesday. So for me, there's an urgency that, you know, I got more banking on this in other ways, right? So it's like, I'm ready to start now. But for every way which everybody else is trying to figure out a blank or a blank, for me, what do we need to figure out? And let's talk about it. Because if we're just not going to talk about it because we're not, like right now, we have our conversation, and then we say, all right, he gets off at 12. But if he gets off at 12 o'clock and go to sleep just to wake up tomorrow morning and do the same thing, then we're going to be in loops of just running in circles, the same ideas. So, and I, you know, been doing that. We've been, you know, let's say broadcast, for example, we've been in that position of running ideas in circles and in loops. Now, obviously, you've seen how things have popped out from that. And then it was also a situation where we all wasn't getting paid. So how do we mix the two where we got people who want to make motion, and so we actively get in motion, but then we stay consistent enough to where the payment comes? Broadcast just wasn't, we didn't make it into consistency where the money was coming, let alone was there anybody in the group who was money motivated. They want to get paid too. If everybody want to get paid too.
But it's not going to just be people that we bring out. People we ask to come out, they're going to buy their tickets. But if we put promo ads on that flyer, and out there, that right person in mind to make a flyer, you put promo ads on that flyer, you know, a cash prize of like say 150 or 200, $10 come perform. You just need to find a winner in the time. Pretty sure nobody will be on that bullshit if it's a $10 performance.
And I feel that, but then we back in square one. If we talking about a time and a place, then it's like for me, when I think time and a place, I think saying one. Like if we don't have a connect for a location, then we have to find a location and just pay the price. And then that be it. So that we can move on to step 2 and step 3 and step 4. Huh? Yeah, that's where we was at, but it's about money out of pocket. There's all these places in Tampa that is willing to take our money to let us do an event. That part is the easy part. Now if there's a connect in that's great. But if I don't think it's worth finding a connect who's not going to be able to reach us so that we can even do the thing in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like there's event space, there's stuff like that is out here that you saw the prices, you know, $150 per hour or $75 an hour, but a 2-hour minimum. You know, it's all these type of things that are out here. So it all comes back down to money again. And
it comes to the fucking scenery too, man. We can't just get any cheap ass place.
So all this being said is that if we got to sleep on this again, then we're still, and it's just, I gotta be blunt so that way we can just be on the same page. We you know, we take everything we just went over today. Huh?
I'm looking for venues right now.
Oh, you're looking at venues right now, I heard. But yeah, to me it was event space Pier Space is a spot that got locations. And then you got places like, for example, like Jerry Cut, who they have their restaurant, but then they have a space that they rent out, like the club they rent out. So there can be any hole in the wall spot that has location, and they just like, shit, we not using it, y'all can use it, type, you know. But overall though,
And it shouldn't get shut down because it's a apartment hall, right?
yeah, if it's a hall, it can't get shut down, no, because it's already, halls are already put in locations where they're open. You know, they already are but they're not like next to public, homes and stuff like that. Like it will be next to somebody's set of houses where now they can be disturbing the peace if they're already a place for that. But that goes into whatever one we end up getting. So basically we're at it's not really square one, because we talk more about the ideas, but until we get we need to know if the second is okay. Everything we're doing right now really wouldn't work until we know the date, right? The date and time. Because like I'm telling you, I can't spread word to anybody about what's not happening.
Well, for the most part, I hope to be good on the second, but like you said, we stuck and sleep. I guess even on the location, not sure. Well, yeah, man, which places suck. How many people? Is that 50 people? 20 people? And 20 people bring in 5 people? But I'm pretty sure more than 5 people gonna come, bro. That's just like borderline.
But if you were to say safety net is where if 20 people come in and everybody's bringing 5, then you would call it 100, and then we wouldn't even tally or consider the extra people that would come, because the extra people that would come are the ones who could potentially cover the people who didn't come. So maybe one person brings 10 people, then that's cool. That means whoever dropped out, and now we have 19 people coming, at least 5 of those people are covered of the missing. So we go from 94 people back into, 99, as opposed to, expecting 100. Well, expecting 100 from the people, the participants, and then putting it at 150 because the extra people who may come. We might as well leave it at a safe net of 20 people. If we want 20 people to come, then the safety net would say 15. And if we want everybody to bring 5 people, then the safety net would be, say, 4 people. So the real numbers would look like 15 times 4, and that would be safety net numbers, because then you want to base the expenses around the lower end of it, so that even if we go higher than that, we're in profit, rather than basing our low end at right where it need to be, which means that anything extra is profit. But if we don't even hit those normal numbers, then now we're in debt already. So it's just kind of like that perfect blend. Like for me, it would be, if it was 20 people expected to come, I'm going to say 15 people are coming, and not saying 50 people are coming, but I would base the amount of drinks being to be bought, the amount of food to be prepared for, will we base around 15 times 4, not 20 times 5. So basically, you can have a successful event by preparing better. You know what I'm saying? If you expect to,
I definitely understand what you're saying.
yeah. So it just comes down to what's a successful number, price point, and we can go all around that. But either way, it still comes down to, we want the cheapest event place because we're selling $10 to $15 tickets. So that's just, if we're going to be selling $30 tickets, then we can afford a bigger event spot. Just like we're selling $30, $40 tickets, then we can afford a better cash prize. But if the cash prize, if the prizes are $1,000, the event space is $300, the security guard is $100, and then the blanky, we end up at $2K before we set the event on go, or at $2K. So now we're talking about the expenses of just the communications, the back and forth, the equipment, and then now we end up at whatever, let's say that number is 2K. So from the math that I did, which was, you know, we can even do the 20 times 5 just to show how that looked like. If you do the 20 times 5, that's 100 people. And then 100, let's say of 100 people, everybody pays that 10. Then now we're looking at about 1,000. But let's say if 100 people pay 15, then you're looking at 1,500. And then let's say of the people that come, the drinks and stuff is only, let's just say that they're $5 to $10. And half the people buy drinks for, let's say half the people buy drinks for $5. So now you got 50 people, so 50 times 5 is 250. So that's 250 on drinks. And then as far as, let's just say Bud or whatever the case, let's throw another extra 200 on there, so 450. So we spend 2K to start, but then at the ticket sales, that brings us to 1,500. At the drink sales, that brings us to 1,750. And after et cetera of sales, that would bring us to 2K. So we would break even in total if with these kind of ticket prices, with this kind of venue, with this kind of event. So we end up doing a whole, it's good for movement. And once again, just like with broadcast, I'm familiar with movement because we did a whole lot, but it was not a success financially. But there was a whole lot of potential for growth, for you know what I'm saying, movement. But for people like, let's say, Wit and, you know, other people involved who definitely had, because remember, Denzel didn't have a job either. So for people who was blessed enough to be moving without having to worry about going to work, it ended up putting a strain on people who had to go to work, because you're like working and, you know, investing all this time into something that is fun, you know, and there's a lot of experience, but you're not able, it's not sustaining your lifestyle. You know, when you gotta buy bars of soap and lotion, that's already a big ticket right there, let alone spending money to go out, you know what I'm saying, regularly. So, you know, the where I'm at with the plan is the lower the expenses, the better. Because it's at a point where I get the point of emotion. If we can get the motion going and we build an expectation for the events and more people start to pop up over time, that's great. But if we can't sustain, if the event can't sustain itself, meaning like it can't pay for itself, then now we end up it just fizzles out, you know, and that's how starter companies go down. You know, if they can last 5 years, that's a good sign. But a lot of companies don't last 5 years because of expenses, because you dependent on, you know, the people. But the people, there's so much going on in 2024. We're trying to get people to come out to this one event, even though there are a million things happening in a day in the life. So marketing matters. You know, how we're getting it out there to people, who we're getting it out there to, what's in it for the people that comes out. Of course, there's a $500 cash prize, but you might feel like you got this other event coming up for yourself that you feel like you want to go to, or, you know, so to take it in positive, to think positively is just what can we confidently deliver and confidently expect, and then confidently deliver. And as far as the venue and date goes, if we got a date, which is the 2nd, and we got an event spot that's good enough, to me, I don't know, I guess to me it's like, as long as I see 10 people come out and 10 people bring out 5 people, that's enough to start some motion up. Is it a huge financial success? Probably not, but it's the start of something that could be eventually. But if we start off with a big ticket, then we start off with a much higher expectation and a much higher loss if we don't meet those expectations. So that's cool to take risks, but then are we able to accept the risk after it happens? Like after 2K was used and we made 1K back, are we prepared to now cough up 1K on top of the, you know, the everything else?
Okay. So I tell you what, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call like 5 people now, because I say just talking. I'm gonna just start doing shit. Let's put it in motion.
Right.
Fuck the location. We'll figure it out.
Right.
But first thing first, let's get this attorney. I'm gonna. So, do you you want to call judges first, or would you like to call artists first? Because I'm about to hit up artists who I know that would like to perform.
So for me, when it comes for artists, like that's what I was saying about the event type is not my forte, but I'm willing to go that direction because I know that I'm adaptable. So within,
Would you like to do smaller, like just interviews?
I'm ready for interviews right away. Whoever says they're ready, I'm ready to do interviews because that's my strong point. I can get in where the people are because that's like right now asking you to find people who sing rock music. I'm not saying you don't have those people, but if you know people who sing alternative music and when you're looking for singers, that's more outside of your range of connects. It ain't that you can't find them. It's just the chances of finding them are lower than finding people that's in your genre of music. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm willing, as far as me, I'm not musically inclined, but I can have a conversation with anybody about anything. So that's the strength that I bring to this movement is being able to talk to anybody about anything. So when it comes to interviewing these artists, I'm going to be able to open up a conversation that's deeper than just them performing. It's deeper than performance because your life is deeper than a performance. You have a goal for why you're even doing this performance in the first place. You have a goal for why you picked up a mic in the first place. That's what I want to get into during these interviews. Get people more excited about why they're doing what they're doing. And then that'll be, my personal goal and mission infused with this project. You know what I'm saying? Like my goal, my thing I want to do in life is inform and inspire. I want to tell people about things they don't know, and I want to inspire people to do things they didn't know that they could do. That's my overall spirit guided system. So if I can do that within this, I want to do that. I'm also really good at, what do you say? Like dissecting things, analytics. So then when it comes to putting the performances together, I'm able to do the math that makes sense to me intuitively. I'm able to, organize. So as far as when we get the venue, it's everything from where the tables are, from where the stage is, from where the speakers are, from where the food is, where the drinks are, where people walk in at, where are the bathrooms. Because I'm already was used to the service industry in general. So it's all these things that matter for an experience in general. Like when you walk into a place, the ambience matters as well, and that's why I know you meant that too when you was talking about the venue spot. It can't just be anywhere, and I feel that because if somebody got a bad taste, that's already something that they paid for. That you want people to pay for something that they're getting their money's worth. So what I'm basically saying is that my strength is not finding artists. My strength is in engaging with the artists who we have. So you need someone who can help find artists, then that's another, if the research that we have between us is what we have at the table, that's another thing that would be off the table. And in order for us to move forward, we would need something off the table to move forward. So I can do, once we got a date and time, time, date, and location, that's a start for me to be able to speak about it, to invite people, to bring it up. But I wouldn't bank on me having those specific people, but it would be like what would be considered the extras, the customers, the people who just want to come out to a performance. It would be those people more so than it would be people who oh, I know that you make music, I got a spot for you. I don't know a lot of people who are in that boat, at least at this specific moment. But I know people who just want stuff to do, or I have my, social media where I can post it. But it's not, as far as my life doesn't revolve around music. So people don't come to my page for music. People don't, you know what I'm saying? When you on my page, you know what you're coming for. You know what you're looking at. Spiritual.
Okay. See, that just changes
Yeah.
Because